Greetings, land of YouTube. Got a little different style of video for you here today. One thing I noticed in my last video was comments saying about how I'm been totally wrong and stuff. And I don't know what the deal is. I think when I first came to YouTube watching these type of videos from other channels, I did fall into the habit of just looking at their titles and not really listening to the videos because there's so much content out there. Maybe you don't have time to watch, but if you don't watch my videos, please don't just come here and comment in 30 seconds based on what you think the title means. Us YouTubers have to create catchy titles to get people's attention. We have to compete with each other. Otherwise, we will literally be sitting here with 100 subscribers, right? And 50 views. So in my last video, it was titled Bitcoin Giant Pump, something or other, exclamation, question mark. You always want to watch for the question marks in the titles. That means it's a question, not a definitive statement. So in my last video, I was saying Bitcoin could be pumping here because based on charts, traditional charts. I don't want to talk about this too much. I have some really good stuff I want to get to. Some other investments besides crypto, besides Bitcoin, that I will be starting to look at. Without a doubt, this higher high, higher low, higher high. And this right here, I noticed this about 5 days ago. I should have published the video earlier, but I'm not really a day trading. Well, I'm not a day trading channel. I'm a macro type of person. I'm going to get into that here in a minute. I'm going to show you where the value in my channel comes, right? I'm going to show you what I seem to have a knack for. Basically, this Bitcoin and this bull run is just basically ruined for me at this point. It's just been turned into a bit of a carnival game, in my opinion. I was not aware of the effect of social media. I was not aware of how strong that effect was on Bitcoin and crypto. And you think about it, and where would crypto and Bitcoin be without YouTube and social media? It would basically just be sitting at $100 still, right? Bitcoin would be. So I guess it makes sense that they can drastically affect it. I just wasn't aware of that. Anyways, long story short, what we're dealing with here, a little consolidation area. And if you follow the springs, if you look at those charts, this is matching that where it would pump, but that doesn't mean that's going to happen. And in that video, I said, I think it's a fantasy for those of you that are out there. They're thinking Bitcoin is going to keep pumping. I think that's a total fantasy. My opinion has not changed. My plan, for those of you that I just see, I see some comments, so I end up talking to my whole audience about some people saying some things and all the comments. My plan is still this. This is my buy box, right? I haven't changed. I saw some comments that I don't, as far as I'm aware, I could be wrong. I don't think I've ever actually given anyone a whole lot of advice of what they should do, with the exception of get ready to buy Bitcoin when it gets down to 20,000 or wherever this thing goes to, right? Get ready to buy. I don't know how I've been wrong about that. If for those of you out there that don't think Bitcoin can't come back down here, if Bitcoin can't come back down to 10,000, if you don't think that can happen, then you're living in la la land. I didn't even want to make this video about this, but there's things I noticed about Bitcoin and crypto that it's basically kind of ruined it for me, right? I don't want to say ruined, because where I try to get people in, where I got really super excited and try to get people in, was right here. This is where I started buying. This is where I try to tell people to buy. This is what I seem to be good at, right? So the thought of me investing money now up here, I'd rather go clean my cat litter box right now than stick some money in here, a bunch of money, right? If you want to dibble dabble around with just a little tiny bit of money and try to trade, that's you. But this is my plan. My plan has not changed, right? You got to have a plan. I'm not wrong about this. right? This, the history of Bitcoin did not end here, right? This game is not over, right? We're just one out in the first inning in a 9-inning baseball game is where we're at right now. I don't know. I just feels like it feels like social media has just turned this into kind of a bit of a carnival game where Elon Musk is running the carnival game that's got the 3 weighted bottles, right? And you're paying him money to try to knock over the bottles with a baseball or a softball, right? And you can get Bob Feller in there to throw 120 miles an hour, and he's not going to knock those off the table, right? Because it's a bit of a rigged carnival game. I see where the criticism comes from Bitcoin. I totally do. Like the Ponzi scheme and the scam, all that stuff that I didn't understand 9 months ago. I thought it was ridiculous. And none of that's true. None of that is true. But I definitely see where those ideas come from. Bitcoin itself is a beautiful thing, and it's by no means a scam or a Ponzi. It's legit. Bitcoin is really, really cool. Just I can't say enough good things about Bitcoin, but the structure and the people that have surrounded around it, I can't say those good things, right? There's 2 different worlds here. So it's not a scam, it's not a Ponzi. Another thing I heard was Bitcoin's got like a cult-like mentality around it, and I didn't understand that until now that I'm making videos and I see these people coming in just like personally offended, right? That I say things about Bitcoin. So there is a cult-like side to it. But that's not Bitcoin's fault, right? Bitcoin is just I don't know. There's lots of problems with it. So my plan has not changed. So I apologize to people out there that we didn't come down here, but that's not my fault. I didn't realize a fake conference by billionaires could cause it to go back up like that. I'm waiting for the bear market. That's my game. So with that being said, let me get to it. Let me show you what I'm good at over here on Robinhood. About 3 years or so ago, this is where I started getting in when I had a little extra money from making YouTube videos. Oh, and that's another thing I want to point out. I make YouTube videos for a living. I sell stuff online. I scavenge for things to sell. I sell scrap metal to scrap yards. So I still have my revolving, my money revenue generating, right? This stock market, I'm just taking shots, right? I'm taking shots at life-changing money, right? So I know people watching my Bitcoin videos, they might be trying to do this for a living, right? Just trade, just invest, just that, So that's a big mistake. This investing in this Bitcoin and stuff is just one arm, one branch of what I'm doing, right? So if I get wiped out in Bitcoin, if I get wiped out in the stock market, I don't care. I mean, I care, but it doesn't affect my life, right? I still got stockpiles of inventory to sell on eBay. It would take me 2,000 hours, a year of straight work, just to liquidate all my inventory. So I'm in the physical world, right? I sell things online. I make YouTube. I have multiple YouTube video channels. I have. I sell a lot of scrap metal. I do various things for money. So that in itself is diversification. You hear a lot about diversification. That doesn't just apply to having Bitcoin and Ethereum and like this Enphase Energy you see here and different stocks and different companies. So the stock market is just one egg in my basket, right? Although I'm not in the stock market right now, but the stock market and cryptocurrency, that's just one egg in my basket, right? My other egg is selling scrap metal, scavenging for things to sell, flipping stuff online on eBay and Amazon and other sites, and making YouTube videos on different channels around YouTube. I have one channel that's pretty big. That's my main income. So, that's a video, a content, social. Not. I really don't see YouTube as social media. I mean, it is, but it isn't, right? I create content on YouTube. I sell online. I sell scrap metal, and I find lots of usable things, scavenging that I don't need to pay money for. So, long story short, the first step to being successful investing is to have income, right? To have a job, to have reliable income flowing in, right? That's number one. Number two is don't invest money you cannot afford to lose. So I don't know who I'm talking to on my videos, right? And I don't want people to lose money that can't afford to lose money. So rule one, have a job, have some kind of income, steady, reliable income. Number two, don't invest money you cannot lose. That's what keeps you safe, right? I got wiped out by Elon Musk back in May. That wiped me out, man. I had I was on the verge of life-changing money, and that wiped me out. I mean, it didn't wipe me out, but what I mean by that is I was in for just a little bit of time and money. I was way, way ahead, right? And I lost I lost my profit, right? So it hurt, but I was when you're only in for a little bit of money, right? And you're way up and you lose it and you still have a little bit of money. I'm basically flat. I'm basically even. I'm kind of rambling now, but okay, here's Enphase Energy. They make micro inverters for solar energy systems. I first started buying this at $9 on my VidVulture YouTube channel. I try to tell people about this, and long story short, they were calling me a scammer and making fun of me and stuff. And it's $9, right? And this is where I started getting in. And this is what I've noticed that I'm really good at. This is the clean energy sector. Enphase Energy, $9. I started buying in, and look at this. See, this is my game. Momentum trading. Momentum. I don't even like using the word trader. Momentum investing. Right? See how this is working out. Somehow I'm really good at this, spotting this. I did research this, but it just comes naturally. I see things in the world, and this went all the way up to almost $212. And this actually kind of looks like the Bitcoin chart right now, which is kind of interesting. I didn't realize that. I haven't looked at this in a while, but I did really great here. This was awesome. So I've done outstanding things, and I've also had outstanding losses. The COVID dump was one of those situations. I've been through black swans. I've been through basically, almost criminal activity as far as I'm concerned with fuel cell energy and Bitcoin. I think Elon Musk, what he's done to Bitcoin, I think that's actually criminal. We just don't have laws, right? It's not okay for people like that to do what they're doing. Morally and ethically, it's wrong, right? But and I just want to I'm gonna point this out. Enphase. So this is where I identified Enphase. I'm a momentum investor. This is my game, right? Get in down here in the bear markets. Well, this wasn't really a bear market. This was a small company that was about to blast off, and I identified it. But in crypto, this would be like getting in the bear market. And look at that, just a beautiful push. I mean, look at that, $9 to $200. That's massive. Massive gainers, right? Massive gainers. Here's another company called Solar Edge. I got in at the same time at about $44. Solar Edge is very similar to Enphase. They kind of trade together. Went from $44 up to $356, and it's slowly coming down, stabilizing. So these are investments that are different than Bitcoin because these are actually companies that do something, where Bitcoin is just pure speculation. So these companies, Solar Edge, Enphase, they're not going to fall. They're not going to have a huge, a huge crash back into a bear market. because that's not how they operate, right? There's substance. There's a reason for these prices to remain in this ballpark, unless something bad happens to the company, right? So look at that gainer, $44 to 350, and we're sitting today at 285. This is what I like to identify. If you know of companies out there or something you want to have me look at that you think might do this, let me know in the comments section, and together maybe we can identify these things. This is momentum investing. This is what I like to do. I'm really not interested in anything else. The lust of money, the love of money, the money lust that's in cryptocurrency, I think it's kind of gross. I think it's kind of ruined Bitcoin, to be honest with you. I guess that's a good way to put it, right? It's not the love of money. It's kind of bypassed that. It's went past like the lust. It's like money lust, right? I really have no interest in trying to give people day trading signals. I kind of dabbled with that there for a while after the Elon Musk dump on Bitcoin, simply because I wanted to try to get some money back, but that's not my game. And I have no interest in sitting here all day, 10 hours, trying to be a day trader. Like I said, I have other things I do. So this is what I'm good at. And this is what I'm going to stick to. This is why I'm waiting for the crypto market to come back down and get back into the bear market. This is where you will find the extreme value in my channel. Look at this run Solar Edge went on. Boom, look at that. I'll show you another one here called Fuel Cell. This also is going to probably look like the Bitcoin chart, maybe even more so. Let me see where Fuel Cell's at. Fuel Cell is an old company. I think it's like 50, 60 years old. They have hydrogen fuel cell technology, and no one really cared about it here until recently. So the company is in bad shape. It's almost bankrupt. But here's Fuel Cell. Wow, it's all the way down to $6. So I started getting into Fuel Cell at this time, right about in here. Is it 30 cents? I actually made a terrible mistake selling at 29 cents here. I got scared, but I identified it. I was in. I had like 10,000 shares, and I got out, but I had identified this. And look at the pump this sucker went on. This is probably what Bitcoin would look like if Elon Musk didn't have the fake little B word conference, right? This peak here has come way back up here, right? So this is a company that was just basically based on hype, right? This was, I think, like one of those Wall Street Reddit type things. It's like a company like AMC Theaters and GameStop. Those are brick and mortar companies that are failing to adjust to the modern world, right? And they're not good investments. They're actually terrible companies. So watch out for that, right? The Wall Street Bets stuff. GameStop and AMC Theaters, brick and mortar, they're companies that are absolutely failing to adjust and adapt, and they're not good investments, right? So Fuel Cell is really not that good of an investment. It's a lot of hype and a lot of junk. They do have a decent product, but see this is kind of a cryptocurrency type pump and dump. And all through here is what was going on, pumping and dumping, pumping and dumping, pumping and dumping. And so selling was one of my big mistakes here, but I'll get into my mistake video some other day. But look at that run it went on from 22 cents back when I first identified it, invested in it, all the way up to $26. Just massive. Had I not sold here, I mean, I sold here. It was a mistake, but I got into end phase and Solar Edge with that money. So I actually had a huge gain, but it would have been huger here. I would have made $250,000 off of a $3,000 investment back here. I would have made $250,000 had I just held on to it. So I identified this, right? Momentum investing. I identified this, and this Fuel Cell will probably repeat a pump like this, right? When it comes away, this is kind of like a crypto, what I'm thinking of Bitcoin. right? It'll probably pump up again after it comes back down and gains more momentum. There's liable to be another big massive pump, right? Because hydrogen fuel cell, solar energy is going to be huge. It's just going to get huger and huger and huger. So when this price comes back down, if you see fuel cell energy come back down to like $1 or $2, you want to have a look at it, right? Do your own homework. You want to have a look at this company for sure. If this price comes down a little further, it could come down a lot further, but if you see it at $1, $2, you will want to start having a look and maybe start getting in there. You're the captain of your own boat, right? So there's simply too much information and homework to do to listen to someone on YouTube. Do your own stuff, right? I'm just kind of pointing things out to you. There's other companies. There's just so many of these companies that I have here and over on Robinhood that have charts that look like this. Another one would be let's see, another one would be like Sonova, not on a greater scale, but some of the like NEO. Where's NEO? I was going to invest heavily in NEO, not NEO crypto, but NEO, the Chinese electric car company. NIO, where is that? You're going to flip out when you see this chart. Watch this. I was going to invest heavily in this company here, but I listened to Jim Cramer on CNBC telling people, "Oh, it's terrible, man. I wouldn't touch it." Right? Was it $1.60, if I remember correctly? $1.50. See this? This is where I was going to invest heavily. I actually had invested in it, and Jim Cramer, CNBC, scared me out of it. So I understand if you watch my videos about Bitcoin, you feel like I scared you out of Bitcoin. But Bitcoin can still end up down at $10,000 in the near future. You know, you might, if you invest in Bitcoin today, maybe you get an 80 or 90% gain over the next 4 or 5 months, right? But you also run the risk of having, if $50, it could go down to $10. That's like what is it, 80%? You could lose 80% of your money, or you could gain 80%, you could lose 80%. As far as I'm concerned, in the macro environment of Bitcoin, right? That's the problem with investing in Bitcoin, any crypto right now. You can gain 80%, just no leverage or anything, just straight investing. You can gain 80%, you can lose 80%. That's my problem personally. That's why I'm waiting for Bitcoin to come down before I buy it again. I mean, in big, I'm not talking about maybe sticking $100 in a site and maybe doing a little trading. That's not what I'm talking about. A nice chunky investment. I'm not touching Bitcoin until it comes down. So here's another one I identified, and I was absolutely right, but I got spooked off of it. So don't listen to those people on CNBC. A lot of these people have ulterior motives, without a doubt. I'm not saying, I'm not calling anyone out for sure and saying this and that, but without a doubt, right? Jim Cramer's a smart guy. He's not a total idiot, right? There's no way he couldn't think this was possible. This is the Chinese Tesla car company. It's the Tesla equivalent in China. Think about I should have just listened to myself. Look at that. I was on at $1.60. I sold at $1.60. It went up to almost $62. Just massive. See that massive gain? So this is what I am good at identifying. Although I've terribly misplayed quite a few times. I've had outstanding successes, and I've had really bad mistakes. So I don't invest in anything that I can't afford to lose. At this point, after 3 years, I'm basically even. About 4 times I've been on the verge of life-changing money from basically nothing. So when you start with nothing, you really can't lose a whole lot. But having just a little bit of money, I'm sure a lot of people out there are listening, that can be your biggest mistake. The feeling that you've got to be aggressive because you don't have much money. That's a mistake that you can make over and over and over. So don't be off put by sticking your money something there and just letting it sit there for a year or 2 or 3. Don't think because you just got a little bit of money, you got to hurry up and do something right now. That's a mistake, right? That's a mistake I've learned. In Bitcoin, I probably should have got out earlier, but I kind of oversteered with Bitcoin, right? I'm thinking, well, I don't want to get out now and make that mistake when I definitely should have got out. So this is not an easy thing to do. And when you start trying to be a trader and a day trader, it becomes exponentially more difficult. The reason I like this momentum investing is because it's just a lot easier. Here's another one. This is a Jinko Solar. This is a Chinese company that's hooked in with NextEra Energy and down in Florida. NextEra Energy is just a wonderful. I'll talk about NextEra Energy here in a minute. Just a wonderful long-term investment. This is Jinko. A little bit of volatility here. Where is it? Starting to get in right here. Is it about $16, $17 to $20 right in here? That's where I started getting in, and I ended up getting out. I ended up moving into Bitcoin right about here, actually, in November of 2020. Actually, it's right here. So I did great with Bitcoin for the first 6-7 months. But right, see, so I was right. I identified this. Look at this. From just say it was about $18 when I first started getting into it, and look at this. See what all these companies did. $65. That's like one of the smallest moves I've showed you so far. 20 to that's like a 400% move, 300% move, 400 went up to 72, 400% move, give or take, right? Since then it's come down. This is kind of looking like the Bitcoin chart. See that? Boom, boom. But this is a real company that sells things. So it's probably going to be more stable than any crypto. Cryptocurrency pumps and dumps off the Bitcoin halving cycles, without a doubt. I don't expect that to stop this cycle. If you don't think Bitcoin's not going to have a big dump, it might be slow and sustained dump. But if you don't think Bitcoin's going to dump back into a bear market, where it comes down low to like 20,000, the likelihood of Bitcoin coming down to 20,000, in my opinion, is very, very high. Although it's probably not going to do it rapidly like I thought it was going to. I think a lot of people lost a lot of money back in May, so a lot of irresponsible longs probably aren't being entered in the massive way they were before. That's probably why Bitcoin's kind of stabilizing right now at 51, 50, 51, 48, 49, 50, 51. Bitcoin's kind of stabilizing a little bit there. It's kind of wait and see with Bitcoin, right? Wait and see. That's where I'm at. I think any experienced person, any professional level, we would be telling you this is wait and see. This is wait and see, right? This is wait and see. No one knows. No one knows if this is going to dump or pump. I'm inclined to believe it's going to dump, but it might pump first, right? There might be a pump first and then a dump. The dump could be a lot slower and gradual than I originally thought. But I do believe Bitcoin is in the middle of a cycle, whether it pumps for the next couple months or flattens out or pumps a little bit. Bitcoin, I do believe, is playing out a cycle. So that's kind of the point of trying to make in my videos. Hopefully you're still listening to this video. That way you know what I'm all about and what I'm talking about in my videos from here on out, right? This is where I want to get in, and this is where what I have to offer my viewers. Identify moves like this. This was a massive, wonderful move. I was right again. See that? See how similar that looks to the clean energy sector I came from? That's why I came to Bitcoin, because it reminded me of all these other companies I'd been in. Tesla is just still doing wonderful. I'm never going to buy. I was going to buy a Tesla vehicle, right? I was going to buy a Tesla vehicle. My next vehicle was going to be an electric Tesla of some sorts, and I'll never invest in Tesla or buy a Tesla product ever for the rest of my life. So, things like that can come back and haunt Tesla and Elon Musk, right? It's like a businessman getting involved in a political race. You're going to piss off a lot of people no matter what you do. So why would you get involved, right? As a business person, right? You can ruin your business It's just stupid. SunPower was one on. I didn't go on a huge run. It went on a nice run. SunPower. If you look at these charts, a lot of these will be pretty similar. I want to show you NextEra Energy. Now they had a stock split. So this chart might look a little funky. Yeah, NextEra Energy split their stock. It was approaching, I think, $300 a share. Let's just go back and scale retroactively. So let's say it wasn't at 48, but let's say it's scale. This is proper, right? Back here is where I identified NextEra Energy. This is the Jinko company. They're a Chinese solar builder. But they have a business. They have a factory in Florida, so they're going to be left out of any tariff wars, right? Trade wars. NextEra Energy, as far as I know, they're still hooked up with Jinko. You may want to check that out yourself. I'm kind of operating off of a year-old information right here. Haven't looked at this for a while. Let's say $48. Let's say $50. I started getting in on NextEra Energy. Here's the COVID dump, right? I went through this. I survived. Here, I had life-changing money, not just NextEra Energy, but in the grand scheme of things, in the clean energy area, I was doing wonderful here. You know, I was on the verge of changing my life as far as life-changing money right here. And COVID-19 wiped me out, just like Elon Musk wiped me out. When I say wiped me out, I mean I lost my profit, right? I was up. I've never lost my principal, namely because I've never really had much of a principal to begin with. And I don't invest what I can't lose, right? That's what keeps you safe, right? It's impossible to get wrecked if you don't invest what you can't afford to lose. It's literally impossible to get hurt. It's rule number 2. I've always said rule number 1. Rule number 1 is have an income. Rule number 2 is don't invest what you can't afford to lose, right? I've said it many times. If you can't afford to lose, if you can't afford to throw that money out your car window, driving down the street and just drive away, if you can't afford to do that, then you shouldn't be investing it, right? That's just rule number 2, without a doubt. Don't violate those 2 first rules and you'll be fine no matter what happens. So this graph's a little skewed, I think, but this is a big behemoth company. It offers a dividend, a quarterly dividend. So you get these wonderful gains on the share price plus a dividend every 3 months. So this isn't a giant move, but this is still a wonderful investment. If I'm gonna say what I invest in right now, NextEra Energy would be one that's safe and just a wonderful deal. It's the world's largest clean energy company. It's a wonderful company, and I give it AA plus 100-star recommendation. Have a look at NextEra Energy if you're interested. It's a slow grower. It's not really my momentum, right? It's not a momentum investment. It's a slow growing, wonderful company. A lot of these, like Generac. Oh, you're kidding me! I haven't looked at this in a while. Look at this. If I would have just stayed here and avoided crypto, now that I look at it, I would probably have life-changing money. I haven't even looked at this for a while. That's depressing, man. I started getting in at Generac at about $55, or started recommending it, talking about it. Here's where I identified it here, right? About $55. Look at this run it's went on. This is a wonderful chart. It's at 450. They make generators, but Enphase Energy and Solar Edge and the solar industry has forced Generac, right? They threatened Generac's livelihood, so Generac has had to go into their industry and compete with them. So it really improved Generac. They're a wonderful company. So Generac, Solar Edge, Enphase Energy, these are all clean energy companies. Off the grid, they all have off the grid capability, right? That's going to be big here in the future. Clean energy, off the grid, independent. No one tells you what to do, right? It's a wonderful wave of technology coming that gives people independence and their own power. And that's how I came into Bitcoin. I'm a socially responsible investor, right? That's how I came into Bitcoin, because I thought Bitcoin was going to do something great for society. But it's bummed me out now, because I realized that Bitcoin is just surrounded by the lust of money, right? It's not what I thought it was. Bitcoin is what I thought it was, but the surrounding structure around it is infested with scam and fraud, and the crypto industry is just rife and riddled with fraud and people stealing money. It's awful. Most of crypto is just scammy crap. With that being said, let's get off this subject. I think you got my point. Just company after company on this list you see here. If you want to freeze, pause the video and look at some of these. My landfill companies, Republic, Casella Waste, and Waste Management, are doing wonderful. They're kind of like NextEra Energy. Their charts will be kind of like that. Two of them offer dividends, and they're slow growing behemoths, particularly Waste Management. But they could run into trouble in the future when we stop sending stuff to landfills. Maybe they can turn into recycling plants. So yeah, look at this list. There's Sonova. Sonova's at 35. It did pretty good. That's only basically doubled, tripled, quadrupled only. There's Beyond Meat's kind of stuck in the dirt there. Beyond Meat's gonna probably run into competition for sure. And up here's some crypto stuff I started getting into. But let's pull out the Bitcoin chart on Robinhood and compare it 5-year to the chart. See how similar that is? See what I mean? To the clean energy sector I came from, right? This is why I came to Bitcoin, right? Because I identified it just like I identified those clean energy companies. And this is what I have to offer. Buying down here in the bear markets. It's really not bear markets with those other companies, but in crypto, just use that word, the bear market, right? Before these big momentous pushes, I've nailed it down. I don't think I've ever been wrong in that regard, right? I don't think I've ever been wrong. I could be wrong. Okay, I could be wrong in the future, right? Do your own homework. That's the thing I like about Bitcoin. That's where I think Bitcoin is socially positive, is it's independent and free, right? It can a poor person putting a little money in there and never selling, right? They can generate a tremendous amount of wealth over the next decade or two. That's why I like Bitcoin and crypto. I don't want to get involved with the day-to-day pump and dump of Bitcoin. I'm gonna have no interest in being good at it. I have no interest, right? If I can do this over and over and over, if I can keep doing this literally over and over and over, why would I not just refine this? Why would I just not refine what I'm good at, right? So that's what I'm going to do. For those of you still watching, you know what I'm talking about now. I could care less if I miss a Bitcoin pump of 20% in the next couple of weeks, or if I miss a Bitcoin dump of 30 or 40% in the next couple of weeks. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm sick of it. It's a carnival game atmosphere. Basically, what's happening now is new people are basically being recruited here, right? Basically, people are being recruited to get into Bitcoin, new money to enter, right? That's basically what's happening. People got wiped out here over and over and over, and then this was the big one, right? And now there's a bunch of new people being basically, for lack of a better word, recruited into Bitcoin here, right? And it's all set up for the next big dump. Whether Bitcoin were to go to 80,000 and then do it, or if it does it today from 52 or 51,000, or if it goes up to 55 and does it, or if it goes up to 59 or 60 and does it, or maybe it does it here and then it does it again, and maybe it goes up to 100,000, but it's still coming, right? That's what I don't. That's not Bitcoin's fault, right? It's the people surrounding it. It's the structure that's been built around it. All these high leverage, like where I'm at right now on Femex, what you're looking at, a high leverage site, right? The general public has no business trading with high leverage, which is that's a recipe for disaster. And lots of these YouTubers and social media people are making tons of money simply by referring you to go to one of these sites and They get a commission off of you. That's what a lot of them are doing this for. So it's just left a real bad taste in my mouth. If Bitcoin was just left alone and investors and hodlers ruled the day, we would probably be at $200,000 or $300,000 Bitcoin right now, right? But that's not what Bitcoin is. It's not Bitcoin's fault. If you don't think that Bitcoin is going to have a giant, whether it's slow or fast, if you don't think that's coming, you're wrong. I'll just say it. I'm 99% sure that this is coming back down eventually. But, a lot of people are saying in the comments, I see, oh, you're totally wrong. You were so wrong. You missed the pump. I don't care. I don't care if I miss this pump because I know it's coming down, right? I'm buying. No matter how long it takes, I'm buying down here, right? When it's bottomed out before it goes on the next big parabolic push, that's where I'm buying, no matter how long it takes. Because this is just a setup, right? If we set a new high at 70, 80,000, it's still coming down, right? I still think this is a dead cat bounce that's coming down. It might take a long time. We could be looking at 12 months of just a gradual fall. But that's the problem, right? Some fabulous news could come out, and maybe the story's changed and Bitcoin goes to 200,000 without stopping. But bad news could come out as well. The United States Congress has a bill they're working on that will bring in heavy regulation, and that's not FUD, that's real stuff, and it needs to be done because it's a circus. It's a carnival circus that no one can take seriously. And I'm just, I mean, this is how it is, man, right? So when I get back in, when the crypto market comes back to the next bear market, I got NEO. This is what I wanted to make this video about. I'm getting kind of long-winded here, but NEO, the cryptocurrency NEO, NEO, is one I'm really, really interested in. It's a real product, right? It's real. Like Bitcoin really doesn't do anything, but NEO, Ethereum, and Chainlink, NEO is one that let me show you the NEO chart here. See, here's the old all-time high of NEO from the last cycle. Went up to $187 or so. And NEO is one of the few ones this year that didn't break its old all-time high. See that? Topped out at $120. And I'm real high on NEO, but I'm not buying now. I think buying now is a mistake. Now I could be wrong, but I'm not buying now. I think NEO might come back down to $10, $15, right? So I'm a momentum guy. Where I would want to get in is here, right? And then ride these big things up, right? So with Bitcoin, the mistake I made, I wrote it up. I didn't get out. And I wasn't really interested in getting out. I'm not a big fan of taking money out of these markets. But I wanted to take out like a loan here and buy a land and a house, right? I never really wanted to sell my Bitcoin. I was perfectly content with just taking loans out against it, right? And then paying those loans off. I don't like taking, there's just so much Bitcoin money being taken out of this market. That's half the problem, right? It saps the energy out of it. So that's going to always be a problem. My last video, I talked about some of the problems with Bitcoin being able to pump up here. I think it's fantasy that it does it here anytime soon. I basically think the cycle has ran its course. Even if it does come up to 70, 80,000, that's not that big of a move. It's kind of lame, right? Because it's coming back down. So I just kind of started rambling here. NEO. I've been looking into NEO. NEO is wonderful. Here's the part I like. The team. I don't want to make this video way too long. So Google NEO yourself. What I like about it, the team has the help of many countries around the globe, notably contributions from America, Europe, and Asia. So those are the three big ones. That's basically the entire planet, right? Is into NEO. The team, right? The NEO team is global. It's not just one country, people in one country, right? It's people around the world are involved in this product. It's a dual token. They have a gas token and a NEO token. It provides passive income. It's kind of like staking Ethereum, similar. NEO is not mined. There are no NEO miners. That's cool. I really like this. I'd like to talk. I should have just made this video about NEO. Maybe I'll make a NEO video in the future. NEO, I'm high on. I might just go buy NEO and Ethereum and Chainlink the next bear market. Bitcoin is so expensive, right? You know, for Bitcoin to 3x, it would be 200,000. You need $3 trillion, right? That's just it's getting kind of ridiculous. $3 trillion for a 3x on Bitcoin is a massive amount of money. But NEO has a lot of updates coming, and they got a lot of stuff going on right now. I was going to first recommend it a month ago when it was at $44, but Bitcoin started pumping hard, and I'm not going to tell people to put money into something that's pumping hard. It's always generally a mistake. Well, I mean, it could be a mistake, but this crypto dump lately is it's different than other things. Personally, I think it's a mistake to invest right now. I could be totally wrong, right? You know, if it goes up to 100,000, you say, "Oh, you were so wrong," but then 2 months later, it's sitting at 22,000. You know, was I wrong or was I actually right? But because of the pump, you thought I was wrong. But you know, I'm a macro-based person, like I've said many times in this video. If you're trying to take my macro stuff and trying to day trade with it, that's your own fault. That's a terrible mistake. So sometimes maybe I don't speak clearly enough, but my videos have been pretty good as far as I'm concerned. So you know what? I'll put all these links, all these websites I have here that I've read. If you want to look at NEO, all these links are down in the description. I'll also put them, just down in the description. I'll put them in the comment section too. The thing is, and you know, if you're going to hold on for investment for 20 years, then go ahead and buy today at 51,000. Go ahead and buy some today. If you're going to hold for 20 years, then go ahead and do it. Right? There's lots of different ways that people are looking at things. NEO has me fascinated. I like NEO. NEO has some interesting benefits, some unique aspects to it that lots of other crypto, as far as I know, does not have. The NEO is like an Ethereum. It's similar to Ethereum. Ethereum's actually had quite a few problems. It still kind of has problems. So watch out for NEO. It's kind of a fascinating product. They basically want to be the next internet in layman's terms. Long story short, would you like to invest in the internet 40 years ago? Watch out for NEO, right? NEO it's a smart economy. This video is too long. Google it yourself. I'll put the links down there. Like I said, Redbox. If you have watched, I'll make a video too about Redbox, a short one here coming up. But if you're still watching this video now, Redbox is going to be a publicly traded company, supposedly here coming up pretty soon. It's going to go public, I think, in the fourth quarter, which is in 3-4 weeks. Sometime October, November, December, they're slated to go public. Why am I recommending you look at Redbox? Like earlier when I was saying AMC theaters and GameStop, they're companies that are failing to adjust and adapt to the business environment of today. I think they're hideous, awful investments. And the fact that they're being propped up and massive amounts of money are coming into them, through like Wall Street Bets and Reddit and that stuff. That's no one in their right mind would invest in GameStop. It's a company that's dying. There's no, it's a video game store that sells physical games, right? It's like Blockbuster. Remember Blockbuster? They never adapted. Here's Redbox. It's little kiosks that rent movies and sell movies. They used to do video games, but they got out of the video game industry because they're smart, right? Physical video games are maybe not a good idea these days, right? Streaming and digital products are so much easier and cheaper. So have a look at Redbox. This video is too. I'll make an in-depth video about NEO, crypto, and Redbox. So Redbox is going to be my first one outside of the clean energy, outside of crypto, that I'd say, hey man, watch out for Redbox. So I recently bought my first smartphone a while back. What Redbox is a kiosk, and they've actually catered to people that are a little behind technologically, right? A ton of their market is people like that aren't technically savvy, like me, right? I just bought my first smartphone, so I've been using Redbox for almost 10 years now, and I think it's a wonderful company. Their customer support is absolutely wonderful. I've never ran into a company that has just first-class customer support. They're fast and they're concise. And you can just tell they got all the information right in front of them. And I can just tell it's a well-oiled machine. The whole company. I just love it. So they're also moving into streaming, online streaming, and they have this massive customer base that they're going to gradually that aren't online right now, really, right? So they have that advantage. They're kind of taking the Blockbuster crew, the Blockbuster people, right? And they've got these little kiosks that spit out these little DVDs now, and they've got all these people doing that, and they're slowly going to get these people into streaming, right, through their TV, their smart TVs and their computers, right? So they've just got, I don't want to get into it right now. It's just wonderful. The link for this Redbox page is down there too. Google Redbox. It's just, I just gave it an A+++ rating, 100 stars. Their call symbol is going to be RDBX. It's going to trade on NASDAQ, and it should become a public here in the next couple months. Watch out for Redbox. I'm really excited about Redbox. This video is way too long. Hope I didn't offend anyone out there, but personally, I just maybe I'll miss a pump. I mean, I missed this pump for sure, right? And I've actually, if you look back at my homepage, I've actually put out videos calling crashes here, and here. The date, like within 24 hours before they happened. So if you watch my videos, you probably know that. If you're just looking at my titles, you might think I'm a moron. But yeah, I missed this pump and I missed this pump. And in my last video, I was saying Bitcoin could pump up to 58, 59,000 here maybe. And I'm not putting money in it. Maybe I missed this little pump here, but I'm not going to be involved in the next dump that comes out of nowhere, dumps right in your face, right? So that's just my strategy, right? That's my plan. You got to have a plan. That's my plan. I'm not. If you have the feeling where you got to do something right now, right, or you're just bored, or you're just making moves just because you're making moves, right? Watch out for doing that kind of stuff. You'll generally probably lose. So this is my plan, right? I might stick $100 in here and there, and try to catch a move or something. Just play money, right? But when I talk about putting money in, I'm talking about investing and trying to catch the next parabolic pump and try to have life-changing money. I would never try to be a day trader and say, I'm going to make money and do it for a living. Very few people actually are successful doing that. There are those out there on YouTube that you can find that I do believe are doing it. But, I just don't have the heart to do that, because you're taking money from other people, right? So if Bitcoin's good for society, how can you be taking money out of the market, right? For every winner, there's a loser. For every big winner, there's probably 100 losers, right? That's the problem I have with that. So with Bitcoin, you can get in, and eventually, if you have enough built up, then you can just take out fiat-based loans against the Bitcoin and never sell your Bitcoin. The Michael Saylor strategy, right? He's probably going to be right, even though he's a terrible investor, right? Michael Saylor doesn't care. He'll buy the tops. He'll buy this top. He'll buy this top. He'll buy this top. I'm sure he's going to buy this top, right? And he doesn't, because he's looking out here 10 years from now when Bitcoin's way out here, super high priced, and he's 10x his money or whatever, 5x his money. He's never going to sell his Bitcoin. He's just going to take out fiat loans against it, which is actually a brilliant idea. That's what I'd like to do, right? I wish more people were like Michael Saylor. Bitcoin would be stable. Bitcoin is just an unstable, chaotic mess that I wouldn't put any investment into outside of just having fun, right? Just sticking $100 in and trying to be a trader, right? As far as trying to change your life, this is my plan. I'm not going to move from it. I've never changed my opinion, right? I see comments saying, "Oh, you changed this and you did this and you did that and you didn't." No, I'm still my plan is still the same, and it's not going to change. I don't care if Bitcoin pumps to $200,000 in the next 3 days. I don't care. My plan is still to buy down here. Whether the bear market shows us that 28 is the bottom, or 23 is the bottom, or 20 is the bottom, or $10,000 is the bottom, right? Wherever that's at, that's where I'm going to start getting back in. Because what I want to do, what I seem to have a knack for, is catching this, right? This guy, right? This, right? The real moves, right? I see people complaining in my comment section that I missed the move. No, I didn't. I got in here at 18 and 19,000. I rode it all the way up to 65, right? I thought, I was under the impression it was probably going higher, and we'd have time where I could, take out loans and stuff. But Elon Musk, overnight, in a matter of, an hour, just ruined the market. And caught me off guard, right? But this is the move I'm interested in, right? So I know there's people, if you want to leave comments in my comment section, look at the moves you're complaining about me missing. This thing here, I can't even draw a line. It's so small. Right? This one here, oh, now it showed up. And then, this one here, right? And if Bitcoin goes up to 58, 59,000 today, next week, it's that line there, right? Can you see that? If Bitcoin starts dumping this week from 51, 52, if it dumps down to 44, see how big that move is, right? Am I missing moves? No, this is the move. This is the move I'm looking for. This one, right? That's where my value comes in. So I know it's confusing sometimes watching different channels on YouTube. I consider this a move, right? I can't even see these moves that you're talking about in here. Where is it? Right? Oh, well, it's a 70% move. No, it was impressive. And I missed it, but I didn't miss this 400% move, right? I didn't miss the 400% move, did I? Right? I'm not going to miss this one. I'm not going to miss this one. So it just depends on how you look at it. And I come off salty sometimes, and that's the problem with texting and comment sections, is you can't read people's emotions, right? So you know, and it's just I can't stand comment sections, to be honest with you. But I think I've babbled enough. I just want to appreciate you for watching my videos and subscribing and liking and doing all that stuff. If you're still watching, you know, I think everything I've said in this video is great benefit to you. I'm talking about, I'm talking about the easy way. I've made mistakes. I'm learning. I've learned a lot several times, starting with almost nothing. I've almost become, life-changing money. And, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because I'll stop making the mistakes. I learn and learn and learn. It's a learning process. So I'll refine it eventually, right? I'm not really interested in sitting in front of my computer and doing all this little stuff, right? In here where you can win and lose and win and lose. And well, I lost, I won 60% of the time, so I'm up, 8% now, or and this is just, I see this stuff so much better, right? This here, right? This is where you can change your life, right? Here. So this is what I'm talking about. It's going to be the next bear market. If you want to come back and check out my channel, then that's where I can maybe change your life, right? With that being said, who knows for sure? Bitcoin could be made illegal and it could go down to zero. Well, probably can't go to zero. It could go down to $500, right? That's still theoretically possible. But okay, I've yammered long enough. My voice is getting dry. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, thanks for watching.